Hi everyone, welcome back to Dozola Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very cute wreath granny square. It's a pretty simple pattern. You have a little bit of popcorns in this wreath area right here. But if you cannot get the popcorn stitches, then please just use double crochets. No big deal there. So the ingredients that I used for this are Hobby Amigo acrylic yarn. Please use whatever yarn you have. I have it in the tan and the dark green color. I'm also using the paint box yarn. So here I use this Hobie for the tan color, this one for the wreath color, and then for the berries I'm using paint box yarns. This color is rose red, and then I have the green in also paint box yarn. And I also used a 4mm hook and a 4mm hook for the inside, the wreath, and the outside of the square. And then I used a 3mm hook for the just the leaves right here. Please use whatever hook and whatever yarn you have. I wouldn't recommend going more than a 5mm hook. So like if you have Super Saver yarn or Joann's value yarn, the Big Twist value, just use a 5mm hook. It will work out very well. You will also need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. If you are a brand new beginner, you might also want to use a stitch marker, but it's not necessary. This is not my pattern. I got the original pattern from the 3D Granny Square book right here. And this is the festive wreath pattern. So I just adapted it a little bit. The leaves I thought were a little bit challenging, especially for people who have not been crocheting, so I just kind of did my own leaves. I hope you like it. So it's a very easy pattern. Again, if you cannot get the popcorns, just use a double crochet, but I think that's it. Let's get started. Okay, everyone, so let's get started. We are going to start first with the background color. So whatever background color you would like to use, please use it. And then whatever hook size the manufacturer suggests, please use it. Today I'm using Hobie yarn with a 4mm hook, okay? But use whatever you have, please. Don't be like me and buy new yarn. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic circle, and I know this causes anxiety for a lot of people, but practice makes better, okay? And this is my way of doing this. So you take your yarn and you put it in between your first finger and thumb. You cross over and under, and then you put the yarn in between your ring and your pinky. So there's an X right there. Take your hook side down, insert it underneath right here. I call it the northwest quadrant. Scoop the yarn right here up and twist. Okay, so this right here is your yarn on your hook. So when you want to hold it and pull your fingers out, and then you want to chain one. Okay, so you hold all this together and you chain one. And what that chain one does is it holds the yarn magic circle in place, just like that. Okay? Practice. Another thing I want to say is that make sure when you are crocheting in the magic circle, make sure that you are crocheting over the 2 strands of yarn. That's very important, or the magic circle will lose its magic and then we'll be very sad. Okay, so let's get started. I know you guys, I'm silly. Let's get started here. We're going to start with 6 single crochets in the magic circle. Okay, ready? Insert the hook, go under and over. 1. Insert the hook, under and over. 2. Insert the hook, under and over. 3. I have laundry going in the background, sorry, but this is a working household. If you want to make your circle a little smaller so you can work with it, go ahead and pull the loose strand, okay? So we'll just do this together. So we have 3 single crochets. Insert your hook, under, over. 4 single crochets. Insert your hook, under, over. 5 single crochets. Insert your hook, under, over. 6 single crochets. Okay, so we have 6 single crochets inside the circle. You want to pull the strand a little bit to close it, not all the way though. Do not pull the strand all the way, okay? Then here is our first single crochet. We're going to slip stitch right in there. If you guys already pulled it, you can wiggle the magic circle out a little bit. What happens is, if you do it too tight, then it's really, really hard to get your hook in there. So that should be 6 single crochets all the way around, okay? Do not tighten this yet. It's always good to do the first round and then the second round when doing a magic circle. You always, always, always can tighten it later, okay? So now we are going to start round 2. Okay, so round 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to put 3 double crochets in each of the next 5 stitches and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. Okay, so 3 double crochets in the next 5 stitches, 3 double crochets each. So we did our chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet. And then we're going to start in this stitch right here. So you go 1 double crochet, in the same stitch another double crochet for 2 double crochets, and in the same stitch another double crochet for 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, so you have your chain 3 and then 1, 2, 3 in the same stitch for a total of 4 double crochets. The chain 3 counts as 1. Let's do it one more time. In the next stitch, you want to put 3 double crochets. Here is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so go ahead and put 3 double crochets in each of the next 1, 2, 3 stitches. Is that right? 4 stitches. Oh boy. 4 stitches. Right? Or should we just do this together? Why don't we just do this together? Next stitch, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, why not, right? And 3. And then the next stitch, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, the magic circle, since I haven't closed it all the way, is expanding, and that is completely fine. Okay, again, we can close it, no problem. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 4 sets of double crochets. In the next stitch, this is the second to the last one, we want to put 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so here's our first chain 3 right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 groups of 3 double crochets. Okay, for 15. And then in this last stitch right here, and don't be afraid to pull on it. And sometimes I use my yarn needle so I can find where I'm going to put my hook in. Just kind of dig around like that. You could put it right in here or right in here. I think I'm going to try and go for in there. You want to put 2 more double crochets. Okay. So there's 1 and 2. Don't be afraid of doing that, of like pulling it a little bit, just so you know where your stitches are. I do that all the time, okay? So here's our first chain 3. All we're going to do is slip stitch to the top, and you should have a total of 18 double crochets, including the initial chain 3. So what can we do now? Take your loose strand, pull to close. See how cool that is? Wow. Okay, so that was the end of round 3. You guys, I get so lost. We're going to start, I'm sorry, that was the end of round 2. As long as this is all right, okay? That's the main thing. We're going to start round 3 right now. Okay, everyone, so we just finished round 2. You should have a total of 18 double crochets in your round. So on round 3, we're going to start right now. We are going to chain 3, okay? So here's 1, 2, and 3. And then in the next stitch right here, we're going to put 1 double crochet. So right here, we're going to put a double crochet like so. Okay, so then in the next stitch, and here is our repeat pattern, we're going to put 1 double crochet again. Like so, and then in the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets, okay? So 2 double crochets in the same stitch, like so. So we have our chain 3, 1 double crochet, and here's the repeat pattern. You have 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so then in the next stitch, you're just going to put 1 double crochet. And then in the next stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, and then you just want to continue that pattern. 1 double crochet in one stitch, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and I will meet you. Go ahead and repeat that, and I will meet you till when you get to the end. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Okay, go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you when you are done. Okay, everyone, so you can see right here, I stopped on the 2 double crochets. So right now I have 23 double crochets around, okay? So again, I ended on a 2 double crochet. So what the pattern calls for is to put 1 double crochet here and to put another in the space that you started. But what I'm going to do is just put another 2 single crochets in the last chain. It's just easier and I think it will look a lot better, okay? So you should have 1 chain left right here. So go ahead and put 2 double crochets in that stitch, like so. And then all you want to do is slip stitch to the top right here of the first chain 3, like that, and it'll curl up, no worries. And there you go. We are done with round 3. So now what we're going to do is fasten this off. And a lot of people ask me how I do it. All I do is I take a pair of scissors, and I always leave a longer chain because I like to tuck my ends in very well. Okay, so I will leave a long strand like this and just cut it like that. Okay, and I still have my loop on the hook. So then all you do is you yarn over and you pull the strand through like that, and it makes a knot. There you go. So what I do before I move on, and so I don't have a ton of ends to go through. A lot of people like to leave their ends for the very last, and I don't, because when I'm done, I like to be done, okay? So how I weave in my ends is I just go through whatever right here. I just make my way through. And then I find some stitches that are all together like that. And you just go one way like that. And then you go through some more the other way. And then you pull through again like this. And that is how you weave your ends in. You go one way, back the other way, and then back again 3 times, and it will never ever come out. And trust me, I tried. I made some rounds, like makeup rounds, and they, so far, I've watched them so many times. I made them like 3 years ago. They've never come out. So it works, okay? So go ahead. You don't have to weave this one through yet, but we are going to start round 4 right now. Okay, everyone, so now is the time to go ahead and grab your second color. Today I am using like a green. It's a really pretty like deep forest green. So this is going to be the wreath part now. And in this part you're going, in the next rounds, round 4 and 5, you're going to learn the difference between a puff stitch and a popcorn stitch. So if you can do one, and if you can't do the other one, then just stick with one because it really doesn't matter. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put the yarn on our hook, and how I do that is I just make a slip knot like so, and then I put the yarn over like that, pull it tight a little bit, okay, take your hook off, out, and you guys, these are my techniques. Everyone has different techniques, I realize. These are mine. You know, you will create your own as you crochet. Okay, I've been crocheting for over 20 years. So you put your hook in any stitch, okay? It doesn't matter which. I don't like starting in the same stitch. I prefer starting in different stitches because sometimes you can see really, if you keep using the same line, you can see it, and I don't like that, but that's just me. So insert your hook into any stitch along the edge, put the new color on, then you want to pull the yarn through. I hold the back like this, like so, and then we are going to put we're going to do a chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay, if you need to, just rewind it, no big deal. But we're going to continue. So we are going to do a standing 3 double crochet puff. Okay, this is a puff stitch. Okay, so we have our chain 3 acts as 1 double crochet. We're going to put another double crochet in the same stitch. And if you can, hold your yarn over, or hold your yarn down and yarn over the loose end in the back. That will save you time too. You see that? So we have 1 double crochet, and then we're going to put another double crochet in the same stitch. So that is 3. And now I always pull up my yarn because we're going to take the hook out. Okay, we're doing a puff stitch, remember. So we're going to go back to the first stitch, and how do you know it's the first stitch? You count backwards. So here's the first one, the second one, and here's the third one. It's part of the initial chain 3, and there is no shame in pulling apart your work to see exactly where that stitch is. So my stitch is right here. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch, yarn over with the new loop, or actually with the loop that we just did. And then you're going to pull it a little bit tight, not too tight. Then you're going to just pull through like that. You see that? That is a puff stitch. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to, it says 3 double crochet in this same puff, but I'm going to do that at the end. Okay, so then we're going to chain 2, and the chaining is what locks the puff in place. So it's like that. Okay, so then in the next stitch right here, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to put 3 double crochets. So that is the first one. That is the second one. And that is the third one, all in the same stitch. Okay. Remove your hook. Find the first stitch right here, which is right here. You count back, 3, 2, 1. Insert your loop, your hook. Yarn over the first loop. Pull through. Chain 2. Okay, we'll do one more. Next stitch, 3 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Take out your hook, count back, 3, 2, 1. That's the first stitch. 3, 2, 1. Let's see right here. Even I get lost. I get lost a lot all the time, actually. And then put your yarn on the hook. Pull it tight a little bit. Pull the loop through. Chain 2. Okay, so that's a 3 double crochet puff stitch. You want to put 1 in each stitch all the way around to make the first row of wreath. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when the row is almost done. 3 double crochets, or 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. Close the stitches, and then chain 2. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. Just do what I did before, okay? Go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when you are done with the row.